What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, we are going to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the original Xbox coming out by talking about the PlayStation 2 and how bad it dominated. I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about the Xbox, in particular my top 10 most played titles. Now, just like all my other top 10 whatever title list, these are the ones that I played the most. They weren't my favorite, they weren't my least favorite, they weren't the best games on the system, but they're the ones that I myself played the most. Now, whether it was lack of funds and I could only afford the cheap games, or I legitimately liked the game, or I was stubborn and the game was really tough and I told myself I am going to beat this game, whatever it was, I played these the most. So I hope you enjoyed this list. I hope it doesn't turn you off. I like to think I have a pretty eclectic mix of video games that I played. Enjoy it. First up, we have Fable. This is a fun and comical RPG. You start out as a little kid and you're tasked with doing quests around town and helping out people. And by doing so, you gain either good points or bad points. In this game, you can choose to be a good person or a bad person. Whatever one you choose, it has adverse effects. If you're bad, there's certain towns you can't get in and people react differently to you versus if you're good. I have done a playthrough as both a good character and a bad character. They're both just as fun. But if you just want a chill, goofy, comical RPG, this is the one for you. And of course, we have Halo. Xbox's bread and butter. What kind of list would this be without Halo? Not the first-person shooter, but for its time and what it did, it was the best. Now, I remember when one of my friends got this and I went over there, we just played the P versus P, red versus green for days on end, and it probably took me a good 2 months before I actually played the campaign because all I wanted to do was hit that player versus player again and again. Very fun first person shooter, very basic looking. I played the remastered stuff. I really don't like it. I actually prefer it on the original Xbox. That's how I remember it. That's how I like playing it. The first three are amazing. Everything after that, not a fan, just not my cup of tea. But this first one was such a good game. And here we have Mech Assault. Not as detailed or as explicit as Mech Warrior, but just as fun. If you like the idea of just getting in a giant robot and just blowing a bunch of stuff up and murdering troops and all these other fellow robot pilots, this is the game for you. You just turn off your brain and you point and shoot, and I love it. There are goals on the levels, things you have to attain to, but in all reality, I just like running around and just blowing stuff up. And truth be told, I really like walking on the little infantrymen. That's just pretty fun for me. But yeah, this is a fun shoot 'em up as a giant robot. Doesn't get any better than that. Next up is Need for Speed Carbon. Now, I do enjoy racing games, but I'm more of a Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing type racing games. I'm not really into the car racing games, if that makes any sense. I like the old cruising games, but that's about it. But this game is really fun. I enjoy this racing game. Starts out and these cars are unwieldy, but as you get better and as you progress with money and experience and better cars and upgrades, it's a lot easier to play this game and to actually stay on track. I enjoy this game. I'm not proficient at it, but I do enjoy just starting a race and just driving around and having fun. Next up is Ninja Gaiden. And yes, I say Gaiden, I don't say Gaiden. This game is difficult. I have never beaten this game. It is a tough game. Not only due to the enemies, but also just it's got rough controls, and that's me putting it politely. It's got bad camera and all that good stuff. The attack button is the interact button, and you'll see once I get too close to a door, if I'm trying to attack people, I might go through the door. It's really frustrating. But that being said, I still play this game to this day. Not frequently, but I still play it to this day. It is a tough game. In my opinion, it is a fun game. It is worth at least trying out to see if you like it or not. Soul Calibur 2. I think this is the first game in the series where they have the different characters on different platforms. And I know PlayStation got the Tekken, the old guy from Tekken, and GameCube got Link. I prefer Spawn, so I enjoy the Xbox version the most. It is a fun fighting game. It's not overly complicated, in my opinion. It can be once you get up higher difficulty, but you can put this on 2, 3, 4 stars and still have fun with it. Plus, I just love playing as Spawn. I think that is ultra impressive. And on top of that, I thoroughly enjoy just knocking people out of the ring and not having to actually finish them off health wise. Just doing a blitzkrieg and getting them knocked out of the ring. That is so fun. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, this game is going to be re-released and redone and remastered and all the good stuff on the newest systems, and that's great. I'm excited for that. This is the original one. This was the very first one that came out like this, and I love this game. You can be like a knight, you can be a scoundrel, you can be all these different classes, and you get a team together and you go out and you try to solve these quests together. And once again, it's in the Star Wars universe. It's just so cool that you have the ability to do this. Now, this game doesn't look the greatest, but man, is it fun. I cannot wait for the remaster, though. And we have a second Star Wars game on the list, Star Wars Republic Commando. So you take over as a Republic Commando, like the title suggests. It's a first person shooter, and you go around and you mess stuff up, and you play through the original saga's storyline, and it is fun. It's a first person shooter just like Halo, like we talked about. I enjoy it. The controls are a little wonky, they take a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's fun. I like almost all things Star Wars. So if you slap Star Wars on it and it's a first person shooter, I'm down. I'll try it out. I'll give it my time and my money. And this one, in my opinion, does not disappoint. State of Emergency. This game is crazy. You have to see it to believe it. You just start out and you're just tasked with just beating up and killing as many people as you can. The bad guys, mind you. If you kill civilians, you get a penalty. But there's like militias that come after you. There's these corporate hitmen that come after you. There's gangs that come after you and crooked cops. And your job is just to beat them up and just raise hell. And you can pick up weapons off the ground. You can use mace. You can use just the craziest, funnest things to get the job done. And right now I'm in the just the chaos mode where you just run around and do whatever you want, and I love it. It's another one of those turn your brain off and push some buttons and have some fun. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. And this game, as old as it is and as clunky and as funky looking as it is still fun. You start by selecting your character, be whatever race you want, and then you go out and you can either accept quests from people and complete this quest, or like me in this playthrough, you can just go out and just start killing things and taking random mushrooms and food you find lying around and just level up that way. Either way, the game is yours. You know, the world is your oyster. No one cares. Whatever you do, this game is super fun, and I highly suggest it to anyone who's never played a Elder Scrolls game to maybe not start here, maybe start with Skyrim, but eventually come back to this one. All right, so there you have it. There's my list. We got some racing, we got some fighting, some first-person shooter, some RPGs, a lot of RPGs. I really like myself some RPGs. What'd you guys think? Did you enjoy my list? Am I just completely out of touch, or is it just the children? Send me an email at retrobengaming@gmail.com. Let me know how it stacks up against your top 10 most played Xbox titles. You guys have a good week. If you get a chance, play some Xbox games. As always, take good care of yourself, take good care of those around you, and keep on gaming.